Hey guys, how's it going today? It is Tuesday. It is my meal planning day. Now one thing, I guess, I'm not sure if I've truly ever clarified. Hopefully I have. I don't actually do my meal planning on Tuesdays. This is just when the videos go up. Because my grocery haul goes up on Mondays, it just made sense to follow up with the meal plan to show what exactly we're doing with all those groceries. So it actually technically starts a day or two before. But I try not to cross stuff off. Either that or I do the meal plan video before, I don't know. Anyhow, it's in there. Either way, guys, if you missed the news, our two new kiddos have officially moved in. There is no more just overnights, back and forth, all of that stuff. They are here and they're here to stay for the foreseeable and hopefully forever future. So that is really changing how our grocery budget and everything else looks. If you watched yesterday's grocery haul, you know that we did go over budget. It was not a surprise. I fully anticipated. I actually expected to go over more than we did because of some of the extra stuff that we were doing, which I'll go over here in the meal plan and kind of explain what that looked like. And the next few weeks, I am going to be keeping really close track of what we're actually spending for groceries, because that's how I kind of determine what our budget's going to be, is I figure out what the average of what we're spending is. Now, with that, I try to keep things in check by doing the meal plan and everything and making sure that we're saving money wherever we can so that we are not overspending. That's also the purpose of a budget, is to make sure that we're sticking to a budget. I mean, to keep us on track and make sure that we have money to do other things that we want to do with our large family. Because guys, when you have a family of 11, it is not cheap to go places. There's one outing that we want to do here. It's going to cost us roughly $125 to get in for one day at a local attraction that the kids want to go to. So we're trying to figure that out. We typically, when it comes to that, we typically do family passes because it actually ends up being cheaper than individual pricing. But that's another topic for another video. So moving on to today's meal plan, I'm going to show you guys this. You're going to notice I do not have a line or anything else written down. I don't have anything else prepared after this moment because I needed to see how everything works. Now, one thing I am doing differently, previously I've been writing anywhere from 5 to 7 meals with the idea that those are typically dinner. Sometimes I do it for lunch, but it's the idea of basically one meal a day. And then outside of that, we have leftovers. We have the chicken in the fridge that because we cook the 2 fryer chickens every week that we shred. So we use that for sandwiches. And then we do have some freezer foods. So that's why I only write one meal a day, because there's all those other things. And even though I'm cooking for a lot of people, I still cook enough for a lot of leftovers for some meals. So there is that too. So one thing I'm doing differently is there are some lunches that are on here. You're going to see, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 essentially meals. So not a whole lot over, but it is something. You will see here the grilled cheese is already marked off. That's because we have had that. It got marked off. It is what it is. Now, I haven't crossed it off yet. The hot dogs and mac and cheese did happen, but not together as I have it written. The plan was to put hot dogs in the macaroni and cheese. What actually happened is we had hot dogs for one meal on bread instead of buns because we didn't have any. And then we had macaroni and cheese with a separate meal. So kind of 2 separate meals written in one there. Pancakes. And then we've got orange chicken with ramen. That's using up a couple things I've got that I wanted to try. Just a basic soup, because in the Instant Pot it doesn't heat up the house. We've got some really hot days here. I know hot soup doesn't always make sense. The tricky part is we don't know what the new kids will eat as far as soup goes yet. We're still learning them, which is another part of waiting to officialize our budget or even the meal plan necessarily, because I'm getting a feel for what they do and do not eat, and they're both different. So it keeps things interesting. Tater tot casserole. This says Sunday because we had it on Sunday. I'm obviously recording this after Sunday. Again, I did not cross it off. Our meal plan, typically this starts either for Saturday or Sunday, just depending on how things are falling for the week. And then after that, we have flatbread pizzas. And then big meal for boys. I'm going to come back to that in a second. I have nachos over here because I was waiting to see if we got the chips, which Sean did. He got 3 big bags of the Ruffles. Guys, if you watch the grocery haul, you see that some of that stuff has increased. Instead of 2 bags when we have nachos for a meal, now it's 3 bags. Because, I'm going to come back to this one, big meal for boys. Guys, I've been really careful not to share much information about the new kiddos, especially before they moved in. They are here. I can now say 2 boys have joined our family, which, guys, we've got 5 girls. We had 2 boys already. And so boys are not completely new, but our oldest son is 7. And these guys are, one is older, one is close to the same age. Not a lot older for the first one, but either way, there are now 4 boys in my house. And girls can eat a lot. Boys do too. So it's taking a lot of adjustment as far as figuring out what they do and don't eat, how much, all of that. The big meal for the boys though, guys, this is why our grocery haul looked the way it did. What we did is, and I think I mentioned this in yesterday's grocery haul, possibly, but, or at least in some video, maybe it was in the day in the life video I haven't put up yet, that I did for YouTube and then kind of messed it up, but I'm still going to upload it for you guys. Anyhow, when you do a lot of adoption training and stuff, one thing that they try to stress is that when a new child joins your family, especially an older child, do not throw a giant celebration. No welcome home parties, none of this kind of stuff. You don't immediately introduce them to everybody you know. There's multiple reasons. For one, it can set unrealistic expectations, but it also can be completely overwhelming for a child who's not used to that situation. I mean, could you imagine starting a new job, except you don't get to leave that job, you have to live there, and you don't just get to go in and start training on the job and figure out what to do and not to do there. Instead, there's this giant celebration, and then suddenly you're expected to remember everybody's names, who they are, how they're related, what their position is, and all of that. Could you imagine that? Anyhow, we do fully abide by all of that. Anyhow, the one thing we did though is we wanted to let them know that they are celebrated, but they're celebrated by us. So, and we made it very clear they're older, so we could explain it, that we wanted to let them have one meal where they got to completely pick what we had. And so we asked them what their favorite foods were, and we let them lay everything out. There's a lot of food, and there's still a lot of leftovers in my fridge. What it consisted of was those 2 roasted chickens that Sean picked up from Sam's Club. There was baked beans, homemade mashed potatoes, because they, not only do they like mashed potatoes, but it turns out they like my mashed potatoes. I'm trying to think here. The baked beans, canned corn and mini corn dogs. Now, there were also requests for steak and hamburgers and a couple other things. And I was like, okay, I was fully willing to make a big smorgasbord, but we did have to draw the line. And so we did that. They've come to love mango. So we got those. It turns out the mango wasn't actually ripe enough yet, so we couldn't have it. But they're up there waiting for them. The mangoes are up there on the kitchen counter waiting for everybody to get to them because they're just about ripe now. They're really firm mangoes this time. So anyhow, that was our big meal for the boys. And part of why our groceries this week were so much extra, we did not get the fryer chicken, so that kind of offset the price of the roasted chickens, partially because they were out, partially because I think I had mentioned a week or so ago that we're kind of in this off cycle where I knew there was going to be an upcoming week where we didn't get them because we were cooking them so late in the week. We kind of need to reset that clock. So next week we'll probably get them, cook them right away that weekend, and move forward from there. But that is what our grocery haul looks like. Now, I don't know in your guys' area, there are more and more stores requiring masks and everything else. A lot of opinions floating out there about whether or not stores should be able to mandate it. The only thing I'm going to say is if an individual store chooses to mandate it, it is their right. You can choose to shop there. You can choose not to. If a government mandates it, that's different, and that starts stepping on liberties. Guys, if you're getting upset about any of this, I mean, just don't get those things confused, because no store is infringing on your personal liberties because you still have the right to choose not to go there. So on that note though, because Sean works in a field where he's in and out of all these grocery stores, and then our oldest daughter works in an area that requires them, I am sewing a lot of masks right now. And I've actually got a stack of them. I've got to add strings and stuff too, and all of that. And he's doing all of that as more and more stores are requiring certain things. And again, he's got his finger on the pulse of all that and how it's affecting things. So guys, this is why I'm going into this. Not because I'm taking a total nosedive off the end of this meal plan, but just know that he is, as a vendor, is seeing a shift in how stores are stocked and everything. And some of his guys are commenting and notating the same thing. The stores that are mandating them are seeing a drop in sales. I don't know that it's significant. I don't know if it's enough to really hurt their business or anything like that. And it's their choice. But there are enough people choosing to shop at the stores not currently requiring them. Now, whether those stores will change or whether those stores are going to be like, we'll take the business. Because there is this grocery chain out here that, they do okay, but it's definitely not the most popular place to go. They are seeing a massive increase because in Rapid, we only have so many different stores. And there's not that many. Surrounding towns, there's even less for options. Most, I'm trying to think here for sure. Most surrounding towns are fairly small, so they have one, maybe two different grocery stores. Maybe a Walmart, depending. There are, I think there's only 3 or 4 Walmarts in a 3-4 hour radius that I know of. Anyhow. Maybe 2 to 3 hour radius. So, options are extremely limited. So guys, keep that in mind. If you don't want to wear a mask, there are stores not requiring them, but also know that enough people are doing it. You may have a lower selection in things. Yeah, there's some creative ways though. You can look at different options. I'm not going to go into that. Anyhow, there is my meal plan as well as a little tidbit tacked on about thoughts for your shopping and how you want that to look for you and what you're going to go with. Now, if you live in an area that's completely mandating masks, none of that matters because the stores don't have the option to choose or not choose. The area is already requiring them. There is this week's meal plan. I think I've said that 2 or 3 times already, but this time I am truly meaning it. I am going to get to working on next week's because I have nothing written down so far. I am really pushing that off until last minute each week right now until I get a better feel for these guys and their likes, dislikes, and things like that. Because there's definitely some preferences and some various needs, not allergy wise, but just dietary needs. So that's what we're going to work on. We're going to keep enjoying having our expanding family and all of the joys that it's bringing us. I hope that you guys are having a blessed day as well. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss everything else coming up next. And I'll see you in the next one.